February 1959. Deep in the freezing Ural Mountains of the Soviet Union, 9 experienced hikers vanished during what was supposed to be a routine winter expedition. Their footprints led into the darkness. Some of the hikers were found barefoot in sub-zero temperatures. More than 60 years later, this case continues to puzzle investigators, scientists, and people around the world what really happened at the Dyatlov Pass. Welcome to Dark Pigeon. Let's uncover the mystery. In January 1959, a group of 10 young hikers set out on an ambitious expedition across the northern Ural Mountains in the Soviet Union. They weren't amateurs. Every member of the team was experienced in winter hiking and prepared for harsh conditions. Their leader was Igor Dyatlov, a 23 years old engineering student known for his leadership and outdoor experience. The group's goal was to complete a challenging route that would earn them the highest hiking certification available in the Soviet Union. Early in the journey, one member of the expedition, Yuri became ill and decided to return home. At the time, it seemed like an unfortunate setback, but that decision would ultimately save his life. The remaining 9 hikers continued deeper into the mountains. They laughed together, took photographs, wrote in the journals, and embraced the adventure ahead. None of them could have ever imagined that these ordinary moments would become the final memories they left behind. As the expedition moved further into the wilderness, the weather became increasingly unforgiving. Snowfall intensified, strong winds swept across the mountains, yet the team pressed on. On February 1st, 1959, they pitched their tent on the slope of the mountain known as Kholat Shiakal, often translated as the Death Mountain. That night, something happened. We still don't know exactly what it was. Something during the night, the 9 hikers suddenly left their tent. According to later investigators, the tent had been cut open from the inside, suggesting they exited in great haste rather than using the normal entrance. Even more puzzling, many of them left behind essential winter clothing, boots, and items no experienced hiker would normally abandon in such extreme conditions. The next morning, there was no one left at the campsite. The mountains had fallen silent. Days passed with no contact. When the hikers failed to return as scheduled, concern quickly turned into a full-scale search. As the days passed, with no word from the expedition, friends and family became increasingly concerned. The hikers were expected to send a message once they completed their route, but no message ever came. On February 20th, 1959, search teams made up of volunteers, students, and experienced rescuers entered the mountains. After battling deep snow and freezing conditions, they finally reached the campsite. What they found raised more questions than answers. The tent was still standing, but something was terribly wrong. One side of the tent had been cut open from the inside. Inside, the hikers' boots, heavy winter clothing, food, cameras, and personal belongings were still there. It appeared they had left in extreme haste. Investigators then noticed a line of footprints leading away from the tent. The footprints suggested several members of the group had walked rather than run down the slope towards a nearby forest. Following those tracks, the search team entered the forest, and what they discovered next would shock the entire Soviet Union. Beneath the towering cedar tree, search teams found the first 2 members of the expedition. They were dressed lightly for the freezing condition and had attempted to build a small fire. The remains of the burned branches suggested they have fought desperately against the cold. As the search continues, 3 more hikers were discovered between the cedar tree and the campsite. Their positions suggested they may have been trying to return to the tent, but they never made it. Months later, After the snow had begun to melt, the remaining four hikers were finally found in a nearby ravine, buried beneath deep in trees, shocked investigators. Some had severe chest injuries, others had serious skull fractures. One victim was missing her tongue, though later analysis suggested this may have resulted from natural decomposition and environmental conditions after death rather than an attack. The investigation also found no evidence that another group had attacked the hikers at the campsite. Every new discovery seemed to answer one question while creating several more. How had experienced hikers ended up scattered across the mountain? As investigators examined the scene, the mystery only deepened. The tent had been cut from the inside, suggesting the hikers left in great haste. Medical examination showed that several hikers died from hypothermia after being exposed to the freezing temperatures. However, some of the victims had severe injuries that puzzled investigators. In 1959, Soviet authorities officially concluded that the hikers had died because of what they described as a compelling nature force. The report did not explain exactly what that force was. To this day, the Dyatlov Pass incident remains one of the most discussed mysteries in modern histories. However, not every question has been answered. Exactly how each event unfolded that night remains uncertain. More than 6 decades later, the Dyatlov Pass incident continues to challenge investigators and fascinate people around the world. Perhaps the most unsettling part of the Dyatlov Pass incident isn't what we know, it's what we still don't know. Nine experienced hikers entered the mountain with confidence and careful preparation. Only one member of the original group survived because he turned back before reaching the mountain. The rest never returned. Maybe one day new evidence will finally reveal exactly what happened on the freezing night in February 1959. Until then, the Dyatlov Pass incident remains one of the history's greatest mysteries. Thank you for watching The Dark Pigeon. If you enjoyed this documentary and want to explore more real mysteries from around the world, subscribe and join us for the next investigation. Until next time, stay curious.